This episode is brought to you by Cologuard. Do you know what's really scary? Not screening for colon cancer when you turn 45. The Cologuard test is non-invasive, requires no special prep or time off work, and ships right to your door. In just 3 simple steps, Cologuard takes the scare out of colon cancer screening. If you're 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about the Cologuard test. Cologuard is available by prescription only. Learn more or request a prescription today at Cologuard.com/screen.
Well, hello again. It is What's Your Issue? The podcast with me, Dara Lane, and my number one Troy boy, Troy McKeedy. How are you, Troy?
It is me, Miss Grand Supreme. I'm doing well.
Troy, you've had quite a day already. Tell me what's going on in your life.
Okay, it's 7:30 Eastern. I just got back from the Kelly Clarkson show. Kelly Clarkson was not there. Andy Cohen was the not co-host, but the stand-in. And it was fucking awesome. It was like really exhausting, but it was so cool. Like, just hung out with Andy Cohen for 2 hours. And, you know, I love watching the production of television shows. I love watching it get made. I love watching the behind the scenes. I love watching people get their makeup done. Like, I just love all of that stuff. So the guests were the Pussycat Dolls and Maddie Ziegler from Dance Moms. And it was supposed to be Portia Williams, but Portia had some flight issues and couldn't get into New York from LA.
Oh, no.
No, I know. Great. So she couldn't make it, and the fill-in was, I forget his name, but he was in Ugly Betty as Vanessa Williams' assistant, and he has a new show coming out, and he was in
it's
a bunch of...
I don't really know Ugly Betty, but is it Michael Urie?
Michael Urie, yes. Yeah,
that's the only
Michael
person I know from that show.
And he's very sweet.
And I was literally just talking about him the other day because I was referencing you know how Barbara Streisand has the mall in the basement of her home, and Michael Urie did a one-man show where he plays the guy who works in the mall.
Yes, yeah. I didn't know that he was so such a Broadway baby, but he has done so much stuff. And he was in the Jinx Monsoon season of Oh Mary. He's so accomplished. He's done a million things with Patti LuPone. So that was fun watching him and Andy flirt. But Donnie, I went with my friend Donnie, who hosts I Am the Cute One, and he edits Beyond the Blinds. And he won. First of all, it was Donnie's birthday, and I was just his plus one. These were his tickets. These were his tickets, and he won all paid for, all inclusive trip to Barbados for 4 days, with one guest, flight included, everything taken care of. It was crazy. Incredible. He cried.
Was it just at random?
Yeah. So they had a raffle, and they were giving away Meta glasses, tumblers, and gift cards for $500. So they're just giving it out randomly in a raffle. And then Andy was like, you guys are gonna freak out when you find out what the actual gift for today's show is. You're gonna lose it. And we were all well, give us a hint. What is the vibe? Is it a trip? Is it blah, blah, blah? And he was it involves a plane and it involves a boat. So there were 2 giveaways. One of them was a cruise, and then the other was a resort trip. And they were all right, we're going to pan the camera to a random audience member, and they are going to be the winner of a trip to Barbados. And then the camera pans to me and Donnie. And I'm we are on TV, and Donnie won. And he was hysterical, and he was crying, and Andy was jumping up and down, and Andy was Donnie, you won! Donnie, can you believe it? It was crazy. It was a really I've never been in proximity to someone that wins something so extreme.
That must feel electric.
Yeah, I was and then I was talking to my friend about it, and she was asking me if I was upset that I didn't win. And I was honestly, it's for the best. if I had gone to the show as a +1 on his birthday and won,
and then you have to be like,
thank
that's
you
a
for
little
bringing me.
choice.
You
know?
Yeah, because I wouldn't have I was like, Donnie, I wouldn't have given that to you if I won. I just want you to know that. Like, I wouldn't have like been the bigger person and like given it over. I would have taken that shit and probably made our friendship awkward.
Oh, but it's worth the trip. You know?
Like, happy birthday. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything today.
Well, see you later.
Yeah, see you on Barbados. But yeah, what about you? What did you do today? How was your day?
Oh, it was fine. Just, doing the regular things I do, bumming around the house. God, that sounds awful. That sounds depressing. It is.
You're like, oh, just walking around in the dark.
Shuffling from room to room, wondering why I'm there and what did I mean to do. I actually have a question for you.
Okay.
Speaking of Broadway, which you mentioned like several minutes ago, do you have any intention on seeing Miss Whitney in Chicago?
I would really love to see Whitney in Chicago. I saw Ariana in Chicago, and I just kind of feel like once you go to one Chicago stunt casting, you've been to all of those Chicago. Like, I feel like I saw Rinna. I feel like I saw Ashley Simpson. I feel like I saw Erica Jane. Like, it's really the same show, but Whitney at least is like really, I mean, she's very like musically and dance gifted, so I'm sure she's killing it, but I don't know if I'm willing to like pay the money. I don't know. Would you want to see it?
Well, I've never seen a stunt cast in Chicago, so I haven't seen them all. I've seen zero, so I've seen none, which is what zero implies. So I would, but like of all the people in the world, like I don't really care about seeing Whitney. I'm not some like Whitney stan, though I do appreciate her turn as a overnight starlet. She's the only one of that cast who deserves it, in my opinion.
I agree.
She's got the stuff. Sorry to say. But yeah, I would prefer to see someone else. But I don't know. You've become a Broadway guy, so I don't know if you had it in your plans.
Well, I was also going to say, it's not like you're coming here, and if we were to see a Broadway show, it's not the one that I would take you to like Oh Mary or like there's so many amazing shows right now. Death Becomes Her is like insane.
Well, Rocky Horror with Juliette Lewis will be playing.
Like, there's just too many options, to be honest, to like go see that. It's kind of like going to dinner in Times Square versus like going to get like a really good meal somewhere. It's gonna be fine, and you'll have a lot of fun, but you could also like go somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would really love to take you to Oh Mary. I feel like that's like something you should see before you die.
Oh, I know. Is Maya Rudolph going to be there during April?
Yeah.
Or... Wow.
Yeah, and I haven't seen her. That would be. I wish I could have taken you to Jane Krakowski. Like, that was like would have been my dream. But Maya would be really cool.
Maya would be very cool. I love Jane. I love her.
I know. I wish I could have taken you to that. She was so perfect for it.
I'd like to see you in Oh Mary.
Me too. I love Oh Mary.
We're putting it out there, you guys.
Manifesting. If Whitney can do it, I can do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Troy, I think that brings us to our question of the day.
Mm-hmm.
What's your issue?
Well, I got a couple of them today.
Woo-wee!
I got a couple issues today. So we are doing a nightclub deep dive. We're talking about early 2000s and 90s Los Angeles and New York City club life. The first article is from W Magazine, which yours truly, my co-host, queen of the podcast, is mentioned and quoted and interviewed for this very article, The Scandalous History of Les Deux, or as Surrey calls it, Les Deux.
Les Deux.
Hollywood's infamous nightclub. And we also are talking about the Vanity Fair article in the Limelight walks through the clubs of New York City's 90s, which is about Limelight and like the Palladium and stuff like that. So yeah, we're going to be talking about like nightclub institutions that don't exist anymore and that I feel really sad that I never got to experience.
Yeah, I feel like it feeds very well from our JFK Carolyn love story discussions, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People are talking about 90s New York, baby.
Yeah, they are. They really are. And every young white male is like trying to look like he's in 90s New York right now.
I will say last night on Summer House, when they were throwing around a Kangol hat, I was like, wow, someone was ahead of their time. Love Story hadn't come out yet.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, that's actually pretty crazy. And it looked so good on Sierra, of course.
Oh my God. She needs to make that a thing. But I guess now she can't because that's too basic.
Right. You like went to Les Deux, right?
I went to the Bones, the graveyard of Les Deux. It was closed by the time I moved to Los Angeles, but it was a restaurant when I first moved there. I got a, do you remember the website back during the coupon boom of the 2010s? It was called like Gilt, like Gilt.
Mm-hmm.
I was obsessed with that website, and they had some restaurant there. I forget what it was called. And I was like, they had a deal for a meal, and I was like, oh my God, this
for Les Deux?
The Bones. It wasn't Les Deux. It was at that point a different place. It was some sort of like Southern like soul food type restaurant, and they had a deal for that. And I just like had looked at the address, and I was like, wait a second, I think that's the Les Deux address. So I looked it up, and it was, and I was like, well,
oh my God,
I have to go. I have to see inside. It was like in no way, shape, or form. There was no remnants of Les Deux. Like it wasn't even the same structure. But I at least got to be on the burial ground. And, you know, feel the spirit.
And okay, because I was actually, ironically, I've like talked to Nate, Dara's husband, about this because Nate like had a early to mid 2000s like club life.
Can you imagine?
But it's really ironic. Like he has really crazy stories about like being out during this time, like when like the Olsens and all of the girls were bopping around, and it's just like I can't believe there's no club culture anymore. It's such a weird thing to wrap your head around.
Yeah, it's really gone. When I first moved to LA, like in the first, I would say, year, there was still there was a remnants of it. Like I remember going to this club in Hollywood. I forget what it's called. I probably never even knew what it was called. Someone just brought me. But the only thing I remember was it had I'm not joking, 20-foot tall picture of Emily Ratajkowski nude.
What?
Like vag and all.
Oh my God. Holy fuck. Jesus.
That's what stuck with me. But yeah, like other than that, the clubs were dead pretty quickly.
Oh, that's painful. Like it is a travesty that of all the people in the world that you and I didn't get to just have like one night. Just one night.
Just one. Although, okay, I actually did get to go to the Roosevelt, and that to me was like the closest that you could kind of come to that culture. And that was like, yeah, I did a lot of the Roosevelt stuff. That's where I actually started dating Nate. We were at a pool party for a mutual friend. But that was where like I would see some celebs there. I saw Mischa Barton at a Warby Parker party at the Roosevelt.
Everybody sees Mischa. That is so interesting. Like everybody I know has had like a very intense Mischa run-in. Not even just like it's like, no, I spent the whole night with her and we exchanged numbers and like She's had so many run-ins with my friends, and I have never met her.
She's a woman about town. I didn't like go up to her, but I do remember I think it was like a troubled time. And she was a little like all over the place. But I do have like a 1 degree of separation Mischa situation where one of Nate's buddies was checking her for a while. So there's that.
Oh, wow. When was that?
I think that was like early 2010s. Or no, I think it was mid 2010s. So
okay. I'm like,
I guess we're all 1 degree of separation from Mischa.
I'm like when you tell me a Mischa timeline, I'm like, where does it fall on the Keds timeline? Like, was she a Keds girl? Was she done being a Keds girl?
This was long past.
Okay. Was she the princess of Keds or not?
Or not. But yeah, wait, did I say the Roosevelt? I was saying the Roosevelt. I meant the Standard.
Okay.
The Standard.
Okay. Iconic still.
The Roosevelt by 2013, they still had like teddies and stuff, but it was not what it was like when Amanda Demi was the promoter there. It wasn't like Lindsay Lohan shit.
Right. I guess just for me, like the thing that I find so interesting about like hotspots during this time is that like Les Deux feels, just the way that it's talked about, feels so different than like all of the other club or like even like the WeHo vibes, because all of the girls for whatever reason felt so safe and like comfortable there. Like they describe it as like a home away from home, and like it was like a place for them to like actually let their hair down, and like I don't know, the vibe just feels so unique to Les Deux.
I think the reason for that is probably because it was like in a craftsman house. I mean, the thing about this article, and of course, I couldn't be more grateful for being quoted, as a society woman that I am. And the article is by Jake Flanagan, to shout out the writer. The article, I feel like, doesn't really tell some of the story of Les Deux. And one of the things about it is, so there was the Les Deux that opened in 2006, but there was an original Les Deux Cafe. And that opened in like, I believe 1996, and it was open until 2003. And actually that Les Deux, from what I've heard, it seems like it totally blows new Les Deux out of the water as far as cool factor goes.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, but that one was actually like in a craftsman house, a 2-story craftsman. On the bottom floor was this like French restaurant. And then upstairs there were some studios, and it was owned by this woman, Michelle Lamy or LeMay or something. And she's like an artiste, muse type, but she was like actually cool. And there's an article from Women's Wear Daily, and it talks about the original, and it says the original cafe was a 2-story craftsman bungalow that reportedly once belonged to James Cagney. Lamy had it moved several blocks to rest in the back of a seedy parking lot just south of Hollywood Boulevard, and hired Paul Fortune of Sunset Tower fame to design, with her old school mahogany interiors, a provincial-style covered veranda, and a walled garden dripping in wisteria. In its heyday, any given night, you could find Madonna and costume designer Ariane Phillips at one table, Lenny Kravitz, Sofia Coppola, Slash, or Tim Burton at another. Sean Combs, still in his puffy days, held court alongside Tom Ford and Loren Scott, while tattoo artists and drag queens smoked cigarettes in the garden, and Gore Vidal sat quietly by the outdoor fireplace. It was the perfect mix of A-list and merry misfits, and there was never not a line to get in. So all of that is to say, I like to shout out the original, because the whole concept of the new Les Deux was not created by the like prick bros from Dolce Group. The original vibe and ethos was started by a beautiful French woman. who then
Wow.
they closed because her and her husband moved to France, and they opened a Les Deux in France.
Oh, see, I had no idea that there was ever more than one.
Mm-hmm.
That is so interesting. And you know, I mean,
I met a woman once, and she said, who was like solidly Gen X, and she said that the original Les Deux was like the best, like the coolest.
It's one thing to be like, yeah, I partied at Les Deux during like the Hills era.
Yeah.
But to be like, I was an OG Gen X celebrity at the original Les Deux, that's like, now you have to like be in the know to even know that it existed is like crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so Lonnie Moore and what's his face from Big Brother?
Mike Boogie. I actually can't believe, like, this is the thing. It's not like Mike Boogie is just like, he's not just like a random contestant that's been on the show. He like is arguably the most notable person to come from the show just based on like being infamous.
Yeah.
And so like when Big Brother premiered, it was like a totally different show. It was like, this is a science experiment, you know, like it was very like, we're doing hard hitting journalistic work here. Julie Chen is standing outside our like rat maze to see what these humans are doing. And it wasn't like a game or a competition or anything like that. It was just like people existing and together.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
There was no competitive element. There was no any of that. And like America would just decide who they wanted to be eliminated based on who they liked. So they would just hang out and wait to see who was going to go home. And then Mike Boogie, and ironically at the end of the article, they talk about how Dr. Will Kirby, who is like now the plastic surgeon to the stars and like does Jeffree Star and all these people. So Dr. Will and Mike Boogie became this duo and they turned Big Brother into a competition show. So they like gave Big Brother its identity and like made it competitive and like turned it into the show that it has been now for like 30 years. So he's like this huge part of the show, but also is like famous for being like this mid 2000s business person in LA who like but and then the places that he was in charge of were not even just like random places. It was like Les Deux in like what, Kauai?
Yeah. Well, the Dolce group, you know, that was Geisha House. That was a big
Geisha
one.
House. Geisha House. That's what I was
Geisha
thinking
House and Ketchup, which I feel like a lot of people
Ketchup.
I feel like a lot of people have heard of Geisha House because it was, I would say it was like Geisha House and Les Deux was the one that you heard a lot about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also, they went to Geisha House in the episode of Punk'd with Ashton and Wilmer and Danny Masterson.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. But Ketchup was another big one, but I feel like less people knew about Ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
I think they served burgers.
I knew about Ketchup because like a really big part of David Letterman's show was like if he had like a celebutante on the show, like if Lindsay or Paris was on, he would always ask them where they were going to go after.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And like that was kind of how I always gauged like what was cool. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like it was like ketchup and like butter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, like they had like their moments and like I was like, oh, one day I'll go to Ketchup. But this, they say the Bling Rings members, which included Alexis Nyers and the short-lived Kardashians knockoff Pretty Wild on E, were arrested and charged in 2009 in court proceedings, which stretched until 2012, conceded with the closure of Les Deux, as well as a flurry of legal woes for the Dolce group. In 2011, Malin, I've never said his last name. That's like really weird. Mike Boogie, along with Lonnie Moore, were sued by investors of Geisha House, a Japanese restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard, painted a ghastly shade of maraschino red. The suit alleged embezzlement and nearly $1 million in investor funds. In line with Malin's reputation as the most hated house guest in Big Brother history, the lawsuit contained even more salacious details, allegations that business partners siphoned off company funds to pay for multiple sexual encounters with various older men, during which Malin would live out fetish roleplay fantasies. Malin accused investors of attempting to extort him with the allegations, but ultimately came out of the fracas of owing $800,000. Malin and Moore were sued by another investor in 2012 for more of the same hijinks, alleged mismanagement of company funds, piggy banking millions of dollars to support their own lavish lifestyle. The suit alleged that the Dolce Group falsified accounting records, they hid funds in shell companies, and made off-the-books deals with vendors pocketing the cash difference. And it says that in 2014, the hammer came down even harder on Malin. He was smacked with a $10.5 million judgment after allegedly failing to pay 8 years of rent on an Atlanta outpost of the Geisha House. 4 years later, a former Big Brother co-star, Dr. Will Kirby, won a decade-long restraining order against Mike after a former club owner sent disturbing text messages and emails including photographs of Kirby's daughter and other children at school, along with messages reportedly showing someone pointing a gun at a printed out image of Kirby's wife. So Mike was sentenced to 2 years probation along with 30 days of mandated mental health treatment. And that was the nail in the coffin for Les Deux. So like Dr. Will was like his big brother bestie partner. They are tied together forever in reality television history. I had no idea that that's how their friendship ended. I just knew that Mike wasn't allowed back on the show, and I didn't know why.
God, I mean, that's insane. It makes you wonder about going on a reality show, the kind of kooks you might end up attracting.
It is. Well, it's also just like there are people who are. What I find so interesting about like a Survivor Big Brother kind of vibe is like you can be a normal person, like a school teacher or a doctor or whatever. And like maybe you don't know that you're like really, really, really good at being manipulative, like vindictive, evil, conniving, backstabbing. And like you could go through your whole life never having to like use those skills. And like Mike went into that house learning and like found out that he's like literally the spawn of Satan and like really good at it. And it's just like, that's such an interesting thing to me. Like you might never know how purely evil you really are until you go on a show like that.
And it's great to have people like that opening clubs where young drunk girls populate.
No, like seriously, what the fuck?
Do you remember Lonnie Moore's episode of Millionaire Matchmaker?
The name is so familiar to me. Let me look it up.
Look him up. I'll be surprised if you don't at least kind of recognize him.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I remember.
And he was a capital P prick. He was just a total misogynist.
Yeah.
And no surprise there.
Oh, he's so gross too. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the name or his face immediately triggered me.
There's also a reality show that I think Lonnie and Boogie did together. Yes, Famous Food. And it was a VH1 reality show, features 7 celebrities as they work to open and take ownership in a restaurant in Hollywood owned by Mike Malin and Lonnie Moore. I think Heidi was in it. Yeah, Heidi Montag was in it, Juicy J.
Yeah. It was like a Surreal Life vibe.
Yes. Danielle Staub.
Yeah. I remember Danielle being on it for sure. Oh my God, that is crazy. It's funny that you brought up like first of all, I had no idea that Les Deux had like multiple locations, and Limelight actually has a similar story, ironically, where like they had an original. So there's an OG Limelight that opened in Atlanta in the 70s, or actually I think it may have been Florida that the original was like the 70s, and then Atlanta was the 80s. And they were like hot spots way before New York because the owner was like a fame whore, loved publicity, loved having like press at the club. So what they would do was have these exclusive interview magazine events at Limelight. And that's how Limelight's clientele became like Debbie Harry, Michael Jackson, Andy Warhol, Liza, like Burt Reynolds. That's how those people, because they would take the interview magazine people and like feature them at the club. And then they opened up the New York one, I think, I want to say third. And yeah, so they had like several locations that were already really, really cool, even before you had like Tom Cruise and RuPaul going to the New York location, which is very crazy. And I love like an interview magazine tie-in.
I know. They say in the article, they mention how the club went on for like 20 years and how that's just like unheard of, which is like an incredible feat to keep a club going for that long.
I mean, and to go through all the phases of club culture, like you were a major part of like Club Kids era. It's like you look at, like the Joan Rivers show and stuff and like Sally Jesse Raphael, they're like talking about Limelight, and then you're still open through the end of the Club Kids era where like, Giuliani shows up, and they talk about that in the article, how like, New York changed so much when Giuliani came and like kind of got rid of all of the riffraff, if you will, anything like queer or of color basically was like gone. But yeah, they had like a Chicago location. It looks like they have a London location. They had a bunch of them, but there was so much like rampant, insane drug use, and they were accused of luring people to the club with drugs. Like they would use drugs to get young people to come in. So it would be like, we have ecstasy, we have coke, like anything you want is here, just come. And the police were like, you can't use drugs as a way to get people into your business. It's illegal. Like, I don't know if you guys know. Yeah, I guess it says on their, I'm looking at their wiki, and it says that on October of 1995, the club was raided by the police, and they were able to make 3 arrests, marijuana dealers, which I'm sure it's like, can you imagine, like, that's the thing that you're after at Limelight?
That's so cute.
So silly. It says the Limelight was temporarily locked for a week. The owners had to pay a $30,000 fine. In 1996, the Club Kid party promoter Michael Alig, who, hello, was arrested and later convicted for murder, as we all know if you've seen Party Monster. Yeah, and now I text Dara this all the time. I always send her pictures when I go by. It is a fucking brick oven pizza place, and it's almost worse than what they did to Les Deux, because they didn't gut it, they didn't tear it. I mean, it's this big, huge Gothic cathedral, this gorgeous chapel with like all of these like stained glass windows, and it's like so beautiful. And then you go in there, and it's like they just turn the club into a little pizza place, and they have this door that closes off the club. But one night when I went there really drunk, I like asked the guy if I could look through like a window or just like peep in there, and it's very dark and surreal. It's like, it's really sad. It's like, fuck, this is Limelight. Like, turn this into something.
I know. I wonder if anyone's ever propositioned them to do like a pop-up or something.
I know. I think about that all the time. I think about like, there has to be some homosexual in this city that has been like, listen, I want to like make this cool again. And it's not even a good pizza place.
At the very least, they should have like someone at Dream Baby Press. You know how they do like
yes,
the readings at Burger King. They should they should do a reading there at least.
I agree. Like, there's got to be something we can do to like, I don't know. But even if they did, like, nobody's like dancing at the club anymore. Like, it's like just the vibe is just over. People don't really dance anymore.
People don't really dance anymore.
They really don't. People just like
They
stand
don't.
they stand and stare and look at their phones, and they all wear white like sneakers and jeans out to the club. They're all wearing the same outfit, and like nobody dances.
When was the last time you went to a club?
Probably New Year's or maybe a little after that. I'm not like a club girl, but like on New Year's we had like a club hopping night, and it had been a very long time for me. But I will say that when I am out at the club, like when I finally get there, I'm like, you can't peel me out. Like I'm scraping my nails against the wall. You can't pull me out of there.
I love that. Do you dance?
Oh, yes.
Oh, he dances.
Oh, yes. What about you? When's the last time you were at the Clerk?
I guess probably 2013. Like 2013, the Radikowski, I guess it was technically a club. There was bottle service and everything, but it wasn't really like a dance situation. The last time I went to a dance club was earlier that year, and my friend from college, who were very like different people, and she was visiting a friend who was living outside of LA, and like all of their friends from high school came, and they rented a limo, and they're like, we're going to a club, and they're like, Dara, want to come? I'm in the limo with them, and I'm like, you guys, you have to hear this new song. It's going to pump us up. And I play Royals by Lorde. They give it like 10 seconds and they're like, what the fuck is this? Shut it off. And I was like, okay. And
little do they know.
Little did they know. But yeah, I went and I was like, I don't know. When I used to club back in the day, I didn't love it, but I feel like it was very different for me. It was more like you go and you're there to like meet guys in a way that's like not that fun.
Oh God, yeah, you're like bringing up memories for me. I'm like, because the thing about this is the problem. During the era of my life where I would have enjoyed the club, I didn't have like a group of gay friends. I didn't have like really close gay friendships. And going out to the club with girls, not fun.
Not fun.
It's not
fun. And I was always going out with hot girls, like professional cheerleaders and other just like very classically hot early 2000s gals. And then it'd be like me. And they're all like 5 inches taller than me. And I'm like wearing kitten heels because my feet can't handle real heels. And it was just a lot of me kind of like, it's too loud in here.
Yeah. You being like, and I'm doing this. And
one of my friends, actually, she is not my friend anymore, but she once said to me, Dara, we're a great pair when we go to clubs. I bring over the guys with my looks and you entertain them with your personality. And I was like, I do know that is the dynamic here. That is no less hurtful.
She's like, and they throw peanuts at your feet and you dance. It's so fun.
It's so cute. Come on.
You crack their peanut shells and feed them to them. It's like so cute of you.
But yeah, I was also clubbing in Boston, which like it was all just gross finance bros. Although one time Lindsay Lohan was hosting a club night at this club in Boston, really close to where I was living, but I wasn't 21. So I got this terrible fake ID. It was a winter white party. I tried to get in, but they looked at my ID. They're like, Mama, this is a library card. I think. Get out of here.
It's like a star ID from Hollywood Boulevard.
It was literally that. And I was like, no, but I need to see Lindsay. And it was Lindsay and I believe Samantha was there as well.
Shit. They brought Les Deux to Boston.
They did. And I was like, I gotta get in. And I'm going to pull it on a caper. And I was just like, no. And I was like, well, that's all I got.
You know what I will say? My last true club era was like 2016-ish. And it was when I was still living in Cleveland/Akron. And Chloe had moved to Cleveland for Lamar. Or for
Oh,
not Lamar, for what? Tristan.
Oh my God, yeah.
So all of our spots became like Chloe's spots. Like everywhere we went, Chloe would go. And my friend lived in she lived in the neighborhood that Chloe lived in and would like go out in. And like that was like a fun era to like always be in such close proximity to Chloe. And like we would go to like there was this bar called Town Hall and we would go there all the time and Chloe would like have like a roped off section with the twins and like, you know, they'd all be wearing like giant furs and like everybody in Cleveland like loved Chloe though, like because she was so chill and cool and like down to earth, you know. So and she was nice to everybody and she would like buy people drinks and like she was just like really cool. So like I went through a weird era in 2016 where I would go out all like every week we'd go out a few times a week and like always be where Chloe was.
Wow. Little club
that was
rat.
interesting. I know. That was like very interesting. Yeah, that was probably my last era of going out like all the time like that and like getting literally hammered and not being able to like walk. Like that was my last hurrah or whatever. Right, girls?
I don't know. So you say that I don't know if you have this in New York because you say nobody dances anymore. I feel like people dance in LA, but it's not necessarily traditional club settings. It's like they'll have like Y2K nights at places like Los Globos where it's like you were literally going to dance. And they have a lot of that in LA. I don't know if that's as much of a thing in New York.
Yeah, I think that's where you'll like, in my opinion, like you would have the most fun and like actually be able to dance is at like bars that are doing like themed nights that are more of like a vibe. Like the really themed bars here that will do like I can't even but like just super themed music you can dance, but like the traditional clubs is like dead. It's like completely. It's a really interesting thing to be living in. And, you know, I know like millennials and Gen Z are always like hating on each other, but it is really interesting to like be the first generation to not be raised by MTV and like have no MTV culture whatsoever and like no club culture. Like, and that goes even beyond. I mean, that goes back to like American Bandstand and like, you know, Soul Train and like, there's always been an era of like youth dancing together at the discotheque or whatever, and this is really the first time that's not like a big institution.
Do you think, I mean, there's a lot of things that would come into play, but do you think bottle service eventually kind of killed club culture?
Yeah, I do. People say that. Bottle service, and there's another thing they say killed the club, but one of them is bottle service.
Yeah. God, what was I watching the other day that said something like that? Yeah. I mean, it got too expensive. It got too crazy. And I don't know.
And phones.
Phones. And that, obviously, that's the one issue I have with this article is doesn't really press how much like the end of Les Deux was just the phones. It wasn't like because Les Deux really, as Les Deux ended, like every club ended. Like it hung on for a little while, but people weren't going out like they used to. And there's not really any mention of, social media is really, that's why the celebrities didn't feel safe anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you can't. It's like the whole point of going out was like to be, you know, debaucherous and like anonymous. And it's like that safety that they talk about in the article, which you were quoted in the article talking about Britney applying for a job there. Can you but before we get into that, it's just like that, you know, there's there's really famous pictures of like Paris and Britney out that one night where she's wearing the silk shirt and the bunny ears. And like Britney just like takes off her pants and it's like the only evidence we have of that is just like a few like film photo like pictures. Like And like Britney is pantsless at a club. She's without pants, wearing fishnets and underwear and a shirt at a club. And it's like that freedom was just like gone. You just couldn't do it. You couldn't be pantsless at the club anymore.
You just can't be pantsless at the club anymore. Times have changed for the worse. Yeah, I think particularly with Les Deux, it felt like a different vibe where you could take your pants off because it was in a house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it kind of tricked you into a feeling of like, this is a house party.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not looking at all the people aren't just like crowded in a room together. There's rooms to move and go, and you can go outside and have your cigarette and talk, and like you can go back in and like feel like you're hanging out in a living room. So I wonder if that maybe had something to do with it. Like it was a little more transportive.
That probably, I didn't really think about that because I didn't really know that it was like a house.
Mm-hmm. It was a Craftsman, which is interesting because there were so many restaurants and places like that in LA that were in a Craftsman, like in a real house.
Yeah.
And that was just converted into a restaurant or whatever. There's really not many of them left. But like, okay, you know, the first time, I think it was the first time you came to LA and like we were friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I took you to that Mexican restaurant. That's like in a Craftsman. Yeah. And it's like you're literally, that is a real house. Mm-hmm. That was just
I love that
in the neighborhood.
I think that's so cool.
It really is. There's less and less of those. They're knocking them all down. But it is a cool part of, I think, LA culture.
Yeah. It's so specific to LA. Like, yeah. I just think that that's so cool. Because I remember when we went to that place, I was like, this is a porch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is crazy, but it was so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. Listen, we always say we're going to do a tour of LA, and then we never do.
I know. Well, I'm on my way, baby. I'll be there Saturday.
Daddy's coming, baby.
It kind of reminds me of the vibe of, do you remember the Beatrice Inn?
Wait, that sounds really familiar.
So the Beatrice Inn is a West Village bar, and it was owned by Chloe Sevigny's brother.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And it was like, the vibe of it was like the basement or like a cellar in like a house. Like it looked like only candlelit. You know, and like it was famous for like Mary-Kate and Ashley would be there at the same time as Lindsay and Samantha, and like just like all of the girls would be there at the same time, and somehow it felt like private, but like not private at the same time. Like you could just watch Lindsay and Samantha have like a private argument in their little bunker of the Beatrice Inn, but like it was chill and nobody. I think that's like the closest vibe in New York to like a house being like a bar or a club, you know?
I mean, but you guys had such cool architecture too, like partying in a church or whatever.
Oh God, what I would give. Wait, can you talk about Britney applying for a job at Les Deux, please?
I can indeed. So there's actually a lot of clutch Britney stories from at Les Deux from this time period. You know, it's 2007. She's not doing too good, but she's a gal about town, and she was hitting Les Deux a lot. So this was a Us Magazine weekly article from Thursday, July 19th, 2007. And it was over July 6th. She's 25 years old. She goes into Les Deux and she pulls someone aside and she was like, "Are you hiring?" And everyone at the club is like, "Oh, she's obviously joking." She's like, "I am not kidding." And then so they are like, "Oh, okay." And she pulls out her calendar and it says, she looked through her calendar and said that she couldn't do it this day, that day, because she had her kids, says the insider. But she asked if she could begin the following Saturday. Spears did did indeed arrive at the club on Saturday, July 14th. Unfortunately, none of the higher-ups were there to follow up with her. But why would an international pop star ever want to work as a waitress? It was all about the uniform, a red corset and tight black skirt, says a club source. She was really excited about wearing the outfit, but she asked the Les Deux employees if she could make her own ensemble. And then at the bottom of the article, there's a poll, and it says, you tell us, would you trust Britney Spears to make you a drink? 30% say yes, 70% say no.
Jesus Christ. It's like, tell us, is she a little dumb bitch? like, but no, that is, and that speaks volumes. Like, in a time where she really felt safe nowhere.
Yeah.
She loved being at fucking Les Deux. Like, I don't think any of those girls loved being there as much as her. She was obsessed. She would go there a few times a week.
Do you think part of it was like the French theme? I feel like Britney was into a French theme.
Well, she loves anything even remotely close to like Tuscan.
Of course.
You know, like she loves like a Cheesecake Factory like vibe. Like literally Cheesecake Factory like looks like Britney's foyer that she danced in for like years.
Yeah.
Like she loves that like vibe. And yeah, I feel like that at least fits like at least similar to her favorite vibe, which is like Olive Garden, but like chic.
It's interesting that, of course, the person who they're citing thinks that like, well, she just really liked the outfit, as if she can't wear the fucking outfit.
I know.
Like,
I know.
It seems very clear that she was looking to get into something that made her feel normal. And it's interesting that the place where she wanted to do a normal person's job was Les Deux. Like, it felt safe.
Yeah, I remember listening around COVID times when the Free Britney stuff first started. I remember that Free Britney podcast. One of the girls like clubbed with her at this exact time and like talked about what it was like going to the club with Britney Spears and how crazy it was. And it's like, I think she literally just at the time just like loved the company of like gays so much and just being around gay men and feeling safe and like not threatened. And it's like she could have her titties out and take her pants off and be wearing a thong at the bar and nobody would say anything. But it is just so crazy to think that there's a whole bunch of people that have no photographic proof, but we're at Les Deux watching all of this crazy shit happen and like watching Paris Hilton like be a lesbian.
That's something you can't do anymore. Watch Paris Hilton be a lesbian.
I mean, all of our ancient texts are disappearing.
There's another Britney Spears sighting, and this one is a first-hand account from Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, God.
And this says, this is also Us Weekly. Ryan Seacrest, who was at Hollywood Club Les Deux October 26th, 2007, when Britney Spears mingled with Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo, said he saw the singer give him a lap dance. Quote, I spoke to her for a minute. She seemed to be in a very, very good mood, he said on Kiss FM radio show this morning. She had her sunglasses on. I said, busy day, huh? She kind of smiled and laughed and said, yeah. And then I believe I saw her and Tony Romo frolicking. Lap dancing, a co-host asked. I mean, some would say, Seacrest said. She's on his lap, the host continued. Yeah, Seacrest replied.
Britney Spears and Ryan Seacrest have only ever had odd interactions, and I'm kind of obsessed with that. Like the one time she like found out he was, there's one interview where she finds out he's gay in the middle of, or that he's not gay in the middle of the interview.
That's classic.
Iconic. The only interview she ever did for Blackout was Ryan like called her house. They were like supposed to do an interview and he calls and Sam Lutfi is there and he's like, she doesn't feel like talking to you. And Ryan's like, well, we're live. Like, she has to. And she gets on the phone and he's like, Britney, this album, it's so exciting. Are you excited? And she's like, and he's like, okay, well, what are you doing tonight to celebrate? And she's like, I'm about to take a bath. He's like, okay. And then she just leaves. She just puts the phone down and you can hear them in the background laughing at him.
Wow.
I know.
I also have another little anecdote of Les Deux. And this one is from Lily Allen's MySpace page, her blog from May 2007. This is just a little blurb. It says, after that, we went to this club called Les Deux, and that was really fun until Lindsay Lohan arrived and had us thrown off our table. I know she's a huge star and all, and famous people deserve to sit down, especially when they've been working so hard. But whatevs. Lindsay, our thoughts are with you as you go through this difficult time in your life. She got arrested this weekend. In the words of Timbaland and Timberlake, what goes around, ...
Oh my Lord. God,
Lily.
Lindsay is a chaos demon. Like the way everybody talks about her just like storming into a room and just creating mass amounts of chaos immediately.
I believe there's also a big fight between her and Jessica Simpson at Les Deux.
Yes.
I have that tabloid where they talk about it. And it's a good one. And that one is like, she comes in and just like all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, but I don't remember why they fought, but I remember that being a thing.
I think it had to do with Ashley.
That would make sense. Oh, right. It was because of Wilmer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. Everything's because of fucking Wilmer.
Oh, God, Troy. I have had Demi Lovato's 29 song stuck in my head for it's going on a month. It's like really bad. I love the song, but it's taking over my life.
I just honestly think that in the very near future, whether it be, I think that Danny Masterson's buddies, Wilmer, Ashton, I don't think it's looking good for them. I feel like people are like, wait, is Ashton toxic? It's like, yeah. Hello. Yes. Oh God, I just think, I mean, that's the downside to this time is like, yes, it was the girls and the gays out having cocktails and dancing, but it was also those boys being disgusting and like, just being such petty pussy ass bitches, like them having like rival parties against their girlfriends. Like, remember when Wilmer had like a rival party because Lindsay had one and he was like annoyed? Like, you're a loser.
They're the biggest. That is the other thing, like not just with those guys, you know, to color in the world completely and not just wax poetic and nostalgic about it. This was also a time where, I mean, you're going to a club and you're going to get groped.
Right.
And
yeah. Jesus, yeah.
And men are going to come up to you and do not take no for an answer. Oh, no, thank you. I don't want to dance. They're not letting up. And that's just a regular night. Like, you know that you're going to the club. You're hoping you meet someone.
Mm-hmm.
But you also know that you're going to war. You're going to battle. Oh. You're going to have to be like ready to swat people left and right. So, and God forbid you don't want to meet anybody when you're out. You just want to hang out with your friends. That's not going to happen. No one's going to let you just talk to your friends.
There is LA has such a unique seediness.
Mm-hmm.
It's very specific to LA, and it's crazy because it's like both enticing and like makes you want to experience it and be a part of it and like look behind the curtain at it, but it's also like really scary and like very gross and feels really chauvinistic.
But I will also say I felt that everywhere. Like when I was in Boston, I mean, that's where I did most of my clubbing, and the guys were just, I mean, it's Boston. Like, it's terrible.
One of my least favorite places on earth. I'm going to be honest.
It's not great. It's not great, you know?
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, it was just like the vibe at the time was just like chauvinistic. It was like guys trying to do their own pussy posse thing like all over the country.
Entourage really fucked a lot of things up.
I know. And how funny we never criticized that show. Isn't it funny people have so much smoke for Sex in the City? There's commentary about Carrie Bradshaw's personality nonstop on the internet. Is she likable? Is she not? Is she a bitch? Is she annoying? Maturing is realizing she's annoying. No heat for the entourage. None whatsoever. Like, I literally never hear criticism of that show.
No, I'll every once in a while hear a little anecdotal like, well, that show was gross, or like, oh, that's like an entourage guy, but not like this should have not been a show on some level.
Right.
But I guess it was what the times were like, but it was also glamorizing it. I mean,
right.
I have not watched that in a very long time. That's not one I'm planning a rewatch of.
Speaking of shows, I want Ryan Murphy, because I like trust him again.
Mm-hmm.
I want Ryan Murphy to produce, not direct.
Not direct.
Not direct. Produce. Not right. Just give us the money. I want him to make like a club series. Like, you know how, what is the JFK and Carolyn show called? Like Love Story?
Yeah.
How it's like it's going to be like a different love story next season. Like it's like an anthology, like different. I want like a club story where it's like just like literally episodes about events that took place at places like Les Deux. And I mean, can you imagine what like a Ryan Murphy produced Limelight show would be like?
That would be incredible. I've also always wanted to option Nicole Richie's book, her Thinly Veiled memoir, which I feel like I've said this multiple times, and turn that into a movie. It's just...
Yeah. It needs... God, that needs to be a movie. It is so... And it would be perfect now because enough time has passed that it could be a little...
Well, and she doesn't use anybody's names in it, so it's all thinly veiled, which is perfect.
What is Paris's name in it? Like Starlight or something?
It's something ridiculous like that.
It's like London.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. That book needs to be a movie or a TV show. Would be perfect for it.
It's great. I highly recommend it to everyone to read.
Oh, God. Just like looking at pictures of people at Les Deux, and also just like the resurgence. It's funny that we talked about Les Deux having like lives before the 2010s, but the Hills era of Les Deux is crazy. Just like what the Hills did for that restaurant or that place specifically, but just like clubs in general. Oh my God.
I do think on some level, the Hills also sort of ruined it. Like the sort of cool
because it died
clubbing.
With the show.
It died with the show because it got all the normies to like really be aware of it. And it's like, oh, now we have these like kids. Like, yeah, we look back on it all like, oh, we love them. But if you're an actual famous person, you're not like, ooh, Lauren Conrad. You're like, who is this bitch? So, yeah, once you bring a camera crew, it's all over.
Lisa Vanderpump just rolled over in bed in a cold sweat. You just literally triggered her. She felt that.
Yes, because everyone was going to Sir to get the delicious goat cheese balls, not because of Stassi and her friends.
The way that Sir is like walking into... It's like walking into like a business in LA that you walk into and you think is going to be like poppin', and you realize that it's like been vacant and empty. Like it is so dead and cheap. And like it is like everything's covered in dust. Everything's covered in like velvet material that's like stapled underneath the couches and the seats. Like all of that like bling and glam that you see on the show is just like stickers, like bling stickers that you get from Amazon that are coming off. Like all the flowers are fake. Like all that dusting that Lisa does when she's like getting ready for a scene, baby, that duster does not come out except for when the cameras are on.
Yeah, realistically, the restaurant has not been open for that long. Like there are plenty of other places that have been open for years and years and years and years. and still hold on to the charm of the era.
Yeah.
And everything that went into Sir was just the cheapest shit put together so shoddily and not maintained at all.
Mm-mm.
So it's not even really like, ooh, I'm walking into a time capsule. It's like, the fuck is this? Like,
it's
this
like
is gross.
Dirty couches. Like, it is literally gross. It's crazy. Like, ironically, it's like more gross than Tom Tom.
Tom Tom felt like there was more money in that.
Yeah, I felt like I mean, listen, they built an entire steampunk clock wall that blows smoke and looks like it's like from a Tales from the Crypt opening or whatever, but it definitely looks like they put way more money into that than Sir. It's interesting.
Yeah, Tom Tom is much more the Vegas effort that she puts into the Vegas restaurants. But Sir is whoosh. That's a place where if you're visiting town and you really want to see it, you go for a drink and that's it. Don't waste your money on the food. Don't waste your money on the whole like it's not worth it to even sit there and have a whole meal because you'll
your
look around
drink
and
will be bad as well. You just have to get at least one drink to like say that you went.
Go get a pumptini, take a look around, and then leave. Like you don't need any of the food there.
You'll take a picture with Peter. He'll be there working. I've literally never gone and not seen Peter. And he's in total autopilot, so he just like literally Peter is posing for the photo before you finish asking, and he wants you to do it, and then he walks away and he doesn't engage you, and that's okay. I understand, but yeah, I'll never forget my first time going there and being like just looking around, like you're like, that's dirty. Huh.
That's exactly what it was like when I went. I was so excited, and then walking around, I was like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
That's what's weird about it, is you're not even like, oh my God, the hallowed halls. I mean, maybe some people are, but I think there's such a bad vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I could handle if it was like, oh, things are falling apart, blah, 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 blah. But there's an X factor there of like a bad, like, I don't know, cloud that hangs over it where you just go, this is gross.
I agree. And they're like, it's dead empty, but they are blaring music as if it's like, and it just feels weird to be in an empty restaurant that's like blaring dance music and like playing the show on TV. The last time I was there, I watched Peter literally scan through the seasons to find episodes he was featured in. And it was one of the darkest things I've literally ever witnessed. I was like he like found like the 1 or 2 episodes per season that he's like in and played those. And I was just like, oh my God, this place is like where souls go to die. Like this place is like Freddy Krueger's restaurant. Like souls are trapped here and they don't leave.
Oh, I feel like that's what it is the fact that when you go, you know that it's like, we expect you to be here and we expect that you're only here for the experience, which is why the food's going to be shitty. It's going to be way more expensive than it should be. I guess it's like a slap in the face. Like you want us to come, but you don't even want to clean up. Ugh. Terrible. Lisa
also crazy.
Vanderpump.
Speaking of Lisa, it's also insane that Lisa Rinna was roofied at the Abbey, and it's like all these people get roofied there, and like people know and they talk about it, but it took like a older white lady getting roofied there for it to like make some headlines.
I do feel a little skeptical.
Oh, you don't think she was roofied there?
No.
Why?
This is what I think. So she gets roofied at the premiere party. However, we do not hear about it until the finale, which is right when her book is coming out.
Oh.
And I feel that she kind of thought, way back when the book was coming, they were like figuring out when the book would come out and all of that. It's like, oh, well, let's do it in time for the finale. I think she's thinking I'm going to go a lot farther than I did, or maybe there's going to be a lot more discourse by the finale than there was. And by the end, no one's talking about Lisa Rinna. They're just talking about Rob and Mara and Maura and all of that stuff. So I think she felt she had to put out a story. And if you notice the way she sort of describes it is, it's like, oh, she got a drug test. It doesn't say like she went, I don't believe it says she went to the hospital or anything like that. It's like, well, how do you know? Oh, well, I took a drug test. What drug test did you take? If I reread like her specific talking points, I could better explain it. But it was pretty much, it felt like she was using wiggle words as to sort of make it feel like, oh, I'm filling in the blanks that she went to a hospital. I just think it's really weird if you were roofied, why you would wait till the finale to talk about it.
Especially Lisa. I mean, that is weird. The way that I interpreted it was that she may have gotten roofied and then used it for press. Like, I didn't think that like it didn't happen, but I just thought like it happened and then she used the story. She like milked the story to like sell the book and like get people talking about her.
I kind of feel as if I don't think she made it up out of thin air, but I do think, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I've known some people who tend to be on the dramatique side or the like, hypochondriac, erring on the hypochondriac side, where they'll be like, I think I was roofied. I think I was roofied. And it's like, okay, why do you think that? Well, I was like the most hungover I've ever been. And I'm like, I think it's something that sometimes people will say happened to them but they actually don't know for sure.
I get that. I've been friends with gals like that.
Oh, I was roofied. And I was like, well, how'd you get home? Like, well, I mean, I don't remember much, but yeah, I got home. It's like, well, you might have just been blacked out.
Okay, but can I just say, even with that said, why is the Abbey still allowed to even be open? Like, how are you allowed to be open when you have countless stories, even if the ones that aren't true, to be known nationwide, not just in LA, around the country as the bar that roofies people, and then to have all these queer people be like, yeah, like I was roofied there. Like people have all these crazy stories. I'm like, I have seen restaurants and bars get taken down for much less. And I know it's an institution.
Yeah.
But I just can't believe that it's like, they don't really suffer from these rumors. Not really. Like,
I think there's a lot of money involved. I'm sure they're probably paying someone off at the city. And there's also like Tenants of the Trees in Silver Lake, which is depicted on the Rachel Sennett show. Mm-hmm. And that is a place that has been trailed for years and years and years of being a hotbed for roofies. But I mean, it never really affected that. Like, it's still open.
That's great. Have you ever been roofied?
No, I have not.
I have. I truly have been roofied.
I believe you.
Not Lisa, I swear, I really was roofied. And I like, looking back, it's actually, I had the opposite experience where I was like, no, I was blacked out. But it's like, no, babe, you've been blacked out. That
is different.
Like I was trying to like lessen it because I didn't want to just deal with the fact that I was probably roofied at my favorite bar at the time. Yeah. But I definitely, my friend and I was in my gin and pineapple era.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is incredible. Really dangerous because pineapple neutralizes the taste of alcohol completely. So if you're a girl who loves a sweet drink and doesn't want to taste anything burning your throat, pineapple all day with like a splash of like a seltzer or something to like just not make it so sweet, you know? But neither here nor there. I had like maybe 4 drinks Dara, when I tell you, I have never felt like that in my fucking life. My friend and I, it was me, my friend Nina, and her wife. And Nina was driving, so she didn't drink. And me and her wife, April, were drinking. We both had the same amount of drinks because I was like buying our drinks. We had like 4 drinks. I can remember it to this day. Like I can remember how I felt. I can remember feeling trapped inside my body. I can remember being really conscious, but like completely out, no control of my limbs. Like I couldn't walk. I like was vomiting like all over the fucking place. I couldn't talk. I was trying to talk to Nina and talk to April. We couldn't put words together. Like it was, and I like stayed the night at their house and I woke up. Nina literally woke up to me. I had clearly tried to get to the bathroom, but it was just too much for me to even like get there. So I just passed out on the floor outside the bathroom door on the ground. Like it was
God.
from like 4 drinks.
That sounds real.
Yeah,
when I am saying don't believe women, which you know, it's more like I've just heard, you know, there have been situations where I'm like, you just sound like you're really hungover. Like I don't know.
No, I'm only adding to your point that when you've been roofied, you know, there's like, oh, I wonder if I was just blacked out, like. And that's why when people say that, you're like, no, babe, like you just drank too much. Like when you're roofied, you fucking know. There's no, and I've had nights where I was like, was I roofied last night? Girls, I was crazy, right? And it's like, no, bitch, you were just like wasted. But yeah, like when you know, there's no debating if you are roofied. Like you're like so aware.
And also, I was a little like, you were roofied with Fent? Like,
yeah.
How much do you weigh, madam? Like, I worry that would take you out for a week.
105 pounds. She's been the same weight since middle school. I just finished her book. She's 105 and she doesn't have an eating disorder. And you know what? She doesn't feel like she contributed at all to her children's eating disorder. She owns it. There's this part in her book where she goes, you know what? We have a phrase in my family called caught red-handed. It's what we say when we just have to own it. We'll say, caught red-handed. It's like, Lisa, that's like a phrase that goes back to like that's in like Charlie Chaplin films. Like, you did not invent the fucking phrase caught red-handed.
Well, I also love the part of her book where she's like, listen, addiction doesn't run in my family. Sure. Did I ever see my father without a drink? Yeah. But I never saw him like really drunk. It's like, ma'am, I don't know.
That book, I loved it, but so much of it killed me. Like, she is so silly. Lisa Rinna is truly one of my favorite people that exists in this world. She is such a fucking kooky lady.
Kooky lady. And you know, if she was roofied, my sincerest apologies, but it was just interesting timing when you decided to release that story.
Lisa, if you're listening, just sue Dara. I love you.
Please. I love you too, Lisa. I just like, you know.
Go after her in court, and I'll sit on your side when you guys are battling. I'll be on Lisa's side in court, wearing a lace over my face.
Well, at least we weren't talking like that about Lisa Vanderpump, because that's a very litigious woman. She'll take you out.
Are you accusing Lisa Vanderpump of selling stories? How dare you? She has never sold a tabloid, ever. She doesn't talk to those people. Are you insane? That means our friendship is over.
Lucy, apple juicy.
Well, do you have anything that you want to add about Les Deux or ketchup or butter or anything?
No, I think we covered it all, you know? We left no stone unturned.
Truly. It's like, make a documentary about this episode. We literally did all the work.
All the work. Well, we love you all. And subscribe on Patreon. You can listen ad-free. Also, if you're noticing that there's no video on Spotify, it's because we are putting the video on YouTube. Go over there if you'd like to watch the video. Sorry if you enjoyed the Spotify video, but you know, it's all a bunch of behind the scenes podcast inside baseball things that led to this decision.
A boardroom of people, really. It took us hours to get here, but we finally got here.
You can listen ad-free on Patreon, and we have bonus episodes, full episodes over there. We've got it all. And please rate, review, subscribe. It helps. We love you.
We love you so much. Pretend that we just put your hair behind your ear and jiggled your little earlobe. Isn't that so sweet of us? We love you. Bye.
Bye.